What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Hendog, and as we get close to Week 11 action kicking off with the Washington Commanders in Philadelphia against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Arizona Cardinals, our beloved Arizona Cardinals, are sitting above the NFC West standings beautifully at 6-4, 2-0 in the division with two wins already, two key wins against the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. And with this bye week, we are really hoping that the Cardinals can get healthy with adding two key pieces to get back into their lineups on offense and defense for this key stretch after the bye week. Because if you look at it, the Arizona Cardinals, even with the tougher beginning part of their schedule, have a more favorable back end of their schedule with teams like the Panthers, the Patriots. You play the Seahawks twice. And then we do have matches against the Niners and Rams one more time with, matchup with Minnesota in there, which is a tough game, obviously. But other than that Minnesota game aside, there's definitely games in there that the Cardinals should be winning. And if they can play the football like they have been through the first 10 weeks of the season, there's no reason why they should not have a home playoff berth. And that would be huge, not only to a fan base that has been starved of just a winning season in quite some time. We had that false idol of a season where we went undefeated. We looked really good at the 7 weeks, but we also didn't play anybody crazy the first 7-8 weeks of the season. Then Aaron Rodgers came in. He used his last bit of luck in State Farm Stadium for that one, thanks to AJ Green's dumbass. But nevertheless, we move on. That false idol of a season that kind of came down to a really ugly game against the Rams in Los Angeles. That was just a pitiful game. And then since then, it's just been in a burning ball of fire. And so just getting a home field game, especially being atop of the NFC West and hosting a playoff game, would be huge. Red Sea would show up and show out, but it would be just a positive sign for the Valley and the state. It just, like what the Suns and the D-backs have done before already in recent years. So that'd be awesome. But just like I said earlier, getting two key pieces back would help with, rookie Darius Robinson, who's been battling with a calf injury all season. He's yet to make a snap or make a play in the regular season because of that calf injury that's been lingering him all season long. And he's been in and out of practice. So hopefully during this bye week, he can fully kind of get some consistent practice in and he can finally make his debut because he's a great player. We've seen what he can do in the preseason, and hopefully he can make that impact in the regular season because we need it because this defense is humming, it's flying, it's got full of energy, and Darius is in himself is full of energy, full of just physicality, which is what the sign is for the Cardinals right now. So having him to add him back to the defense that's been just working right now, not a lot of touchdown in 3 straight games would be huge. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Jonah Williams, our right tackle, since we kicked Paris Johnson Jr. over at left tackle at the beginning of the season, Jonah Williams, our starting right tackle, who played about a half in the very first game of the season against the Buffalo Bills and then went down with a knee injury. There was different signs of where he could go. He could be out at the end of the year. He could be out for a couple weeks. He could only be out for a week. We never knew, but he ended up going on IR. But he's been back at practice the last couple weeks, and he's been looking good. So he's eyeing a return. And then Kelvin Beachum in his place has looked good, though. When he first came in, he looked a little inconsistent, looked shaky. And then as he kind of, grew into the NFL regular season, got used to the pace again, he's been looking good. He's been steady. So players showing up, next man up mentality has been working out really well for the Cardinals. But getting those two players back would be huge. But hey, while we stay at home, we game, we rest up, the rest of the NFC West is battling. We got a huge interdivision battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. That game in itself, even though I believe it is the only first matchup, I believe it's the first matchup of the regular season for them, but just where the Cardinals stand, I believe we want Seattle to win this game because Seattle sits lower in the standings, and if they win, they kind of just jostle. They bring San Francisco down with them, per se. So I'm rooting for Seattle personally, which sounds really weird to say because not often am I rooting for Seattle, but in this instance I am, just for because it benefits the Cardinals more for right now. So yeah, please, Seattle, can you please beat the Niners, which the Bucks was hoping they could do last week. The Bucks, man, that was such a good game, but that was a really close game. Baker Mayfield is such a stud. I'm so glad Cleveland's paying that price, because the way they ditched Baker Mayfield like that and the way they're paying for it's incredible. So I'm glad Baker is showing up and doing what he's doing while Cleveland is just an utter clown show right now. So good job, Baker. But yeah, so go Seahawks. We need them to beat the Niners and help out the Cardinals. And then the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, go to New England and play Drake May's Patriots. Now, beginning of the season, I would have obviously said, and a lot of us would have said, I imagine 90% to 100%, 90%, not counting, the 10% being New England Patriots fans. 90% of us would have picked the Rams to beat the Patriots in this game, because the Patriots are rebuilding. And we didn't know if Drake May would be playing, because usually, with New England and players and some teams say, we're going to let him sit back and we're going to start a veteran quarterback for the year. Sometimes that lasts the whole year. Sometimes it lasts part of the year. May it only last one game. We didn't know how long it was going to last in New England at the beginning of the season. But now what we've seen from New England, we've seen that I'm impressed by New England. I think New England's quite a decent team. And with everything that's been going on in the NFL so far this season, yeah, I would lean towards the Rams winning this game, but I would not fully doubt the New England Patriots in this game, especially being at home. They are very they're a sound team. Drake May is playing better than I think a lot of people assumed he would. I think he's a good quarterback, and he's only going to get better. I think he's kind of shown some of the doubters wrong coming out of the scouting process and the draft, and I'm glad that he is. I'm glad when players show those scouts wrong, because what does the tape show you all the time? But sorry, but I think New England has not want to say a decent shot in this game, but they have somewhat of a shot in winning this game. So we are rooting for New England to obviously win this game, which obviously if we said this about 6 years ago, you'd be rooting for Tom Brady. But who knows? New England could still win this game. So go New England, beat Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford again. Well, not you didn't beat Matthew Stafford again, but beat Sean McVay again like you did in the Super Bowl. And help out the Arizona Cardinals, please. Because if these scenarios can go in the direction of the Cardinals' favor, the Cardinals could be looking really good out of the bye, going up against a huge division battle against the Seahawks, as we just covered earlier. If the Cardinals can go into that game and beat the Seahawks, the Cardinals would be 3-0 in the division going into the game against the Vikings away. I would obviously count that as a loss. I mean, even though with Sam Darnold kind of struggling now, coming back down to earth a little bit, the Vikings defense is really, really good. And there's just more than one ways the Vikings offense can beat you. So I do expect the Cardinals to kind of get a loss in this run that they're having. And I want it to be in Minnesota, not in Seattle, because I think Arizona is a way better team than Seattle. And if Arizona can beat Seattle, like I said, 3-0 in the division with 3 division games left, they hit to play each of them one more time. So 3-0, looking really good. 7-4 going into that game against the Vikings would be huge for the Arizona Cardinals for Week 13 on. If you did enjoy this video, please do hit the subscribe button. I will be dropping more content throughout this bye week on my YouTube and my TikTok. So actually please check out my TikTok. The link is in the description. I have been dropping a lot of content on there lately as well. And content from game day. I have been going to all the home games so far for the Arizona Cardinals. And I plan on going to all of them except one. And I am not going to the New England Patriots game because I have a family thing to attend to. But the other two games, the Seahawks game and the Niners game, I will be going to. So boots on the ground and game day coverage will be on my TikTok. So please do follow my account over there on as well. But please do hit the subscribe button, get the bell icon, and get notified when a video gets dropped. Or when I do go live, I do live stream as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the support. I love you all, and peace.